Hi everyone, how are you doing today? I hope you're well. I just wanted to check in with you and let you know that we're doing well, my family and I, and this is something that I always feared might happen, and I was always worried, and it's upon us. So I wanted to send out an email to you just to give you an update on what's happening with the real estate markets and what you can do and what the outlook is for the next 3 to 6 months. And this is something you'll probably not hear from most realtors. And it's this: I'm advising all of my clients not to buy or sell during this period unless you absolutely have to. This is something that is way worse than 2008. And it's like, who knows where this is going to take this? And so the question becomes, why am I saying this? You know, it always amazes me when I look at the MLS and I look at how many people are listing their homes, and I'm going, what are you doing? And why are realtors telling their clients that now is a good time to list? Because it certainly isn't. And it makes me question what their thought process is and why they're doing what they're doing, because it's certainly not in the best interest of their clients. In Canada, as you probably have heard, the unemployment rate, which has typically been, like a low 5%, that's what's been driving our economy for so long, now is projected to go as high as 15%. It's unprecedented. Last week, Unemployment Canada had 1 million new signups for unemployment insurance. Typically, you're seeing, 56,000 claims in a month, and now we're getting 1 million. I came home last week and my wife Maggie, she was crying. It's hard. I'm in real estate. I'm on commission. I don't get paid unless I buy or sell a home. And I think that's why most realtors are trying to stick this through, trying to convince their clients, yeah, it's a good time to buy or sell. No, it's not. I've always prided myself on being a straight shooter. And I think, as in all things, that the unemployment rate, with the amount of people that are being laid off right now, is probably actually higher. Because think of all the small business people, the people who work from home, large restaurant chains, commercial companies in malls. This is huge. These are companies that need money coming in to pay their leases. And if they can't pay their leases, they have to lay off their workers. And if they're laying off their workers, $2,000 a month. And hey, listen, I got to give Trudeau props. That's awesome what he's doing, and it will help. But $2,000 a month is nothing in the Lower Mainland, and you and I know that. And if there's no money, people aren't going to be spending money. We are going to have a recession that is going to be way worse than 2008. And I remember 2008. It was rough. My phone did not ring for 9 months. And I tell you, when you're on commission and you need to sell to make money to pay your bills, that's rough, because then you have to go into your savings. This is going to affect our economy in so many different ways. And as our economy gets hit by this, less and less people are going to be able to afford to pay their rent or their mortgage. And when they want to purchase a home, say all those realtors who are telling their clients, yes, you should list your home right now. The buyer comes in and says, I'll give you $1 million for your home. And the bank goes, listen, we don't know if we want to give you a mortgage, because in 3 months that $1 million house might be worth $950,000. So we'll give you a mortgage for $950,000. We're not going to cover that 50 grand we think it's going to go down. We're not going to put ourselves in a position of liability. Maybe you want to as the buyer, but we don't want to. So you're going to have to not only come up with a down payment, you're going to have to cover that $50,000. And then the seller's going to go, well, I don't want to sell my house for $950,000. It's worth $1 million. I'll wait till after this passes. So I'll wait 6 months or a year. So all these sellers are going to start pulling their properties off the market. So either the bank's not going to give you the mortgage that you want, The buyer is going to get laid off and not be able to make their payments, and then the bank's going to withdraw the funding, or the seller's going to withdraw their home. So 3 different scenarios. None of them is good for real estate, and none of them makes it a good economy for you to either sell your home or for a buyer to come in and buy a home. So I've told all my buyers, listen, the best thing you can do is not buy right now, is to sit and wait, because there's going to be a deal in 6 months. Why would you pay $1 million right now for a house, and then in 6 months your house is worth $950,000? It makes no sense whatsoever. So for both buyers and sellers, for all the reasons I've given, now is not the time to be in the market. And I don't understand how people can be working with these realtors. It's almost like they don't want to believe reality, what's right in front of them. You know, you have to wonder what's going on, because I certainly wouldn't recommend it. And 3 months, well, let's put it this way. In the UK, banks have already lobbied the government to suspend all real estate markets. They're saying, we know a recession's coming. We can't issue mortgages knowing that houses are going to be worth less in 3 to 6 months. And I can't really blame them. 2 of the biggest banks in the UK have upped the down payment requirements for purchasing a home to 40%. 40%. That means if you want to buy $1 million house, you need $400,000. And you need to be prepared that that home may be worth $950,000 in 3 to 6 months when you take possession. And when you take possession, a week before you take possession, the bank's going to relook at the documents and they're going to go, you know what? We were going to give you a mortgage, but we don't want to now because the house has gone down $500,000. This is just as much our house as it is yours, and we're adverse to risk because we don't know if the market's going to go down again. So it really is putting a damper on our economy, all these people getting laid off. And all I'm telling my buyers and my sellers, all of my clients right now, is hold on, sit tight, do what you need to reduce your expenses and get through this and weather the storm, okay? Because it's not going to last forever, but at the same time, I don't want to see you make a big mistake that's going to cost you financially when I know that I could have said something. So that's the reason why I want to put things in perspective for you, and I don't want things to be all doom and gloom. As of today's date, there are 1,200 reported cases in British Columbia that we're aware of, out of a population of 5 million people. That's a percentage of 0.0002%. You know, the chances of you getting this are quite rare. And the chances of you dying are really, really rare. The latest report that's come out of Italy, because I've been tracking this, I love watching the news and keeping up to date on all this stuff, because I'm interested, but I'm also worried. To give this some sort of a top-down view on the realities is 90% of the people who die from the virus are over the age of 70 years old. 90%. And 75% of the people who die from the coronavirus have 2 or more pre-existing conditions. 75%. So this is not a young people's disease. Your kids are probably quite safe. I'm not saying you should get it or that you should not worry about getting it. We are social distancing. I'm washing my hands on every opportunity. I'm covering my mouth whenever I'm coughing or sneezing. But the biggest thing is don't let your kids visit their grandparents. I think that's the last thing you want to do. Kids are getting through this. I think it's like 50 to 75% of people who get it are asymptomatic, which means that they don't show any signs. So you may get it, although, like I said, the chances are very, very slim of getting it. But even if you do get it, you may never show any signs of having it. You might just go right through it. So what are the signs? Well, the biggest thing is do you feel tired and are you getting a fever? And it's usually accompanied by a dry cough. So tiredness, fever, dry cough. And more good news is about 80% of people recover from the disease without ever needing any kind of special treatment. 80%. So that's quite high. Having said that, whenever we're in the cold and the flu season, whenever we have a pandemic like this, which we have SARS, we got bird flu, swine flu, A1, H1N1, all these different ones that keep popping up every so often, I'm a big believer, rightly or wrongly, that it doesn't hurt to do everything possible to strengthen your immune system. So what I like to do is I like to take extra vitamin D. This is my daughter's. It's chewable, very yummy. 400 IUs of that. And vitamin A, which basically is like your green leafy vegetables. 10,000 IU of that. Oil of oregano and garlic in tablet form, because the oil of oregano it's nasty, right? What's the old saying? If it's not nasty, then it's not, doing what it's supposed to do. But oil of oregano, you put those drops, oh my God, it is nasty. And then a good multivitamin. I take Ollie for Men. It's a multivitamin. It's got zinc in it. It's got iodine in it. It's got a whole bunch of stuff that you normally don't find in multivitamins, and plus they're delicious. These are like little gummies. Delicious. Well, that's what I do to boost my immune system, and then, eating more vegetables and things like that. And pizza is good. Pizza is really good. And you can have it delivered. So, boost your immune system and you can have it delivered. And, and what we have been doing, I've been telling lots of people about this, is playing a new game called Blockus. Well, I don't know if the game's new. It's new to us. We just started playing it maybe 6 months ago, and it is a blast. It's $50. I'll provide a link below to the Amazon link, and it is so much fun. My daughter's 10 years old. She's really good at it. It's a family game. It doesn't matter how old you are, you can play this game. It's easy like checkers, but there's a lot of strategy like chess. So it's easy for your children to pick it up, and it's engaging enough for the adults to really enjoy the game. Like I said, we have a blast playing it. Our family's quite competitive. So yeah, it's fun. I'll provide a link below. And that's it. I just wanted to touch base. I know this video is probably way too long. I love to talk, as you can see. But I really wanted to go over this, and I really wanted to let you know where we're at with the real estate markets, and just wish you the best, and let you know that, you know what, I always love to hear from you. If you want to call, if you want to chat, if you want to catch up, just pick up the phone or send me a message on Facebook or send me a text. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you, and I hope you're well. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.